Hello, hi, welcome to another booktube video. This is going to be a brief video because it's really warm in this room and also I need to go out. But this video is all about Anthony Trollope's Barchester Towers. So this is the second instalment in the Chronicles of Barsetshire. So the Chronicles themselves are 6 books in total, and Trollope said himself that they are meant to be sort of standalones. You can read any of the books in any order. Most of the characters in each book you come across are completely new. That way, you don't have to know a backstory before going into a particular book. The only exception is the first two, really. So the Warden and Barchester Towers are interrelated. So Barchester Towers takes place a few years after the Warden. I believe it's about 5 years, it says in the book. And we follow on from what happened in the Warden. Now, to me, Barchester Towers is what I wanted the Warden to be. Obviously, it's a lot longer. This is just over 400 pages, whereas the Warden was like 160 odd something. I did read somewhere that Barchester Towers was actually meant to be another shorter novel like the Warden, and Trollope completed maybe 8 or 9 chapters and then went back to it. Now, because of this, apparently there's a couple of discrepancies. To be honest, when reading, I didn't notice the first one, but now I look back on it, I can see it. It's to do with dates. I believe in the first couple of chapters, it mentions a particular time of the year. And then going forward later on, when he went back to it after sort of 10 chapters or whatever, it kind of seems like you go back in time. It says months have passed, but then you're, a month previous to what he already said, something like that. But to be fair, I didn't really notice when reading it, but now looking back, I can see it. I think the other discrepancy was to do with the bishop, the new bishop, where at the beginning it says, they don't like spending much time at Barchester. They spend most of the time in London. And when you get past chapter 10 or whatever, they're constantly in Barchester. So, yeah, didn't really notice, to be honest. So Barchester Towers, as I say, it follows on from the Warden about 5 years after. Now, a few things at the beginning, I will say, because I don't think they're spoilers, because it's at the beginning of the book. If you haven't read Barchester Towers and you want to, maybe stop watching now. So we start off with the bishop, the old bishop, which is Dr. Grantley's father, has died. And Dr. Grantley himself, which is Eleanor's brother-in-law, believes he should be the person to take over the bishopric. So he really wants it. Everyone expects him to get it. And then the whole place is a flutter when actually a newbie, an outsider, gets it and becomes the bishop. Now, along with the bishop comes his wife. So the bishop, Dr. Proudie, and his wife, Mrs. Proudie. Mrs. Proudie is a fantastic character. I absolutely love her. She's like so devious, and she loves the drama. She loves causing the drama. She loves hearing the drama, gossiping, and all that. So yeah, she's a fantastic character. So we see the Proudies come to Barchester, and along with them, their chaplain, Mr. Slope. He is a bit of a slimy character, and I believe in the 80s TV adaptation, I believe it's Alan Rickman who played Mr. Slope, which I can see very well if that is the case. And once again, it's following, like the Warden, it's following church politics, but it's not as heavy, I think, as the Warden was. The Warden was very one-track mind, dealing with one issue, the issue of the wardenship, Mr. Harding, whereas that does come up again. The wardenship is still up for grabs. And it's now the place of the new bishop to decide who's going to be the new warden. So there's politics with that going on. There's politics surrounding the new bishop, the people already in Barchester, the religious folk not warming to him. And yeah, then we see also Eleanor Bold, who she is now, who was Eleanor Harding, married Mr. Bold. We find out she obviously got with him at the end of the Warden. They've been married, they had a son. Unfortunately, Mr. Bold has died, so Eleanor is a widow, and she's quite a wealthy widow at that. So we also see, not really a love triangle, but a love square almost, with these people trying to gain her affection. And it's actually all religious, well, 2 religious folk and 1 not religious, who are trying to gain her attention. And apparently, in the day, this caused a bit of a scandal, depicting these religious, reverends, because in this sort of light, like fawning over a divorced, not a divorced woman, a widowed woman. Although there is another character, Mr. Slope, who does kind of go after not a divorced woman, but a woman who's already married. The Signora Neroni, she's another fantastic character, really unique, and yeah, sort of she loves the drama too, and yeah, you can see how this, in its age, in the Victorian era, would have been a bit saucy, a bit scandalous. I'm sweating already, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. This is ridiculous. This heat is ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so it's what I wanted the Warden to be. It's full of drama. It's very sarcastic, very satirical. Yeah, and it's the Trollope that I know from The Way We Live Now. It encompasses numerous plots into one story, whereas the Warden, I say, it was very much one story throughout. It was following the wardenship. That was it. Here we've got the wardenship still, but then we have this love triangle, love square with Eleanor Bold. We have the family, the Stanhopes, who are a bit of a weird family, but very interesting. And yeah, we have more characters introduced, and it makes it a fuller novel and really enjoyable. I can see how some people say that this was the start of Trollope's career. You know, he wasn't earning that much before this. And then the Warden took off, and that's when he decided to make Barchester Towers longer than it was originally going to be. But yeah, I can see why people love this. I don't love it as much as The Way We Live Now, but I have seen from other booktubers that a few of the other chronicles, so Family Parsonage, Last House at Allington, are actually really good as well, and they enjoyed those more than this. So if that's the case, and I really enjoyed this, then I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the chronicles. But yeah, it's got some great characters, as I said, Mrs. Proudie, the Signora, and yeah, I think my favourite part is the love plot. You know, we've got all these people falling over Eleanor, and Eleanor's completely oblivious to it, even though other people around her are kind of, you know, telling her what's going on. She's completely like, no, don't be silly, don't. It's fantastic, and yeah, I can see why Trollope is like the master of story writing here. Not so much as Dickens. He's not as out there and outrageous as Dickens, but he's very clever when it comes to putting a plot together and making these characters up as well. Yeah, it's just a fantastic novel. So that's my thoughts on Barchester Towers. I loved it. I really like the ending as well, how it's all pieced together, and the ending you get is the ending you want. So yeah, I think that's really fabulous. So that is it. I was going to carry on with the Chronicles, but I think I want to take a little break from that and do something else. I've got so many books on my shelf. Coming up in a few days is July, and that means it's Jane Austen July. I'm going to do a separate video for that in a couple of days, introduce my TBR, what I hope to read for Jane Austen July. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, bye.